Welcome to the Modern Assyrian on A&B Sad. My name is Carmen Morad. My special guest today is Ishtar Saiyady, working for Congressman Josh Harders as a constituent advocate. Ishtar was born in Urmiya, Iran. She came to the U.S. via Austria when she was 8 years old and arrived in the United States at the age of 9. Her dad is a shamasha, and her parents taught her to read and write the Assyrian language, and she taught Assyrian at the St. Thomas Catholic Church for a long time. Ishtar attended MJC and has a BA in history and wrote her thesis on the genocide, and attended law school in San Francisco. She graduated in May of 2018 from Golden Gate University School of Law with a special certificate in public interest law. She moved back to serve her community and was hired as a constituent advocate for Congressman Josh Harder and has been with him since day one. She grew up wanting to help people and now does exactly what she wants to do.
Madam Speaker, I rise today to wish the Assyrian community in the Central Valley and across the world a Happy New Year. One of my fondest memories in Turlock was spending afternoons with my Assyrian neighbor who was like a grandmother to me. Her name was Nana Bedpera. Every day she'd pick grape leaves in her backyard while she made rice so my brother and I could enjoy fresh, homemade dolmas after school. She'd tell me stories about the incredible contributions of the Assyrian culture to art and literature, how Assyrians built the first human cities, were the first to domesticate crops, and how they literally invented the wheel. She also told me about the centuries of persecution Assyrians faced that caused so many to come for a new future in America. So as we celebrate the year 6769, I wanted to tell our Assyrian community how grateful I am to be your neighbor, and may this new year bring your families joy and happiness. I'm Josh Harder, and I'm here with my colleague Ishtar. I wanted to take a moment to wish the Assyrian community in my district and across the world a very happy new year for the year 6769.
باید مشغول ولی لحظه پرسد برخون ولی خب نیستن که کل آتورای گده دقیقه و که کل گیوم تمرانیتا بالو خوابن شیت اشتاق الپشابم و اشتیت جد آتورای.
This is such a wonderful tradition and significant in marking the coming of spring. In many of his writings about the new year, noted Assyrian poet John Alkas talks about the renewal of the earth, urging the sun to rise and thaw the frozen fields, for the water to flow through the streams and irrigate the crops. He writes about the excitement of farmers to sow and plant their fields.
خراب شب تعادت إلى قبل تبيني سنة جوسام مزوري كتاب وباسط خبني سن كتاب جان آلخاس كمدخل قد كما ناشك سبري ألبيني سنة پرپول بخير شمشة وبسبارة أل بشرتد أرى من جديلة بسبارة أل متتد مية أل شاقيات ومشتتد أرى كي كاتب باسط خدوتد أكار قد إدانا كمسي خقوية زريدة.
In the Enuma Elish, the ancient text describes in detail the 12 days that were used to celebrate the new year. There was a day when the king was ceremoniously humbled and reminded that he served the people of his kingdom. And if the king cried, it would be seen as a good omen for a wet year. We had a pretty wet year in California this year, so I think it worked.
Looks like it. You Enuma Elish, كتابات عتيقة كي حقيقة مجرد آتورای تریسه یومن کدری والا گنه شی تخته اترخای یوم قد ملکه کمصلی والا من تختو قد متخری والا قد آون ایده ریگد نشو و این ملکه بخی و کتانی و سپاینیشن قلقه خال شی تملیت مبرکته.
Although these traditions may be thousands of years old, the Assyrian New Year still reflects the values we have in the California Central Valley, reminding us of the importance of our farmers and our water. These are timeless, endless values that we can all be reminded of during every April 1st.
أني عادت إنا بألبشن عتيقة أبز عادية إنا كمسخ زخ من خبني سنمو كمسخ لبخ بس دني من ديانا أنا نقاي جو خيوتن لخا جو قلونية أسرع جو سنترال فالي خابني سن مدخولا لكما مية أنا نقاينا وكما طيمة اتسن جو خقلانا وبزروتا أني إنا عادت قد هم ماشي كم سخت خرخلونجي وخب نيسن.
Thank you and have a happy new year.
ريشي توخم رخته.
Welcome, Ishtar.
Hi, Carmen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule. I know this is the congressman is in the district, so you're very busy.
Very busy, but I always have time for you, and sharing whatever we can.
Thank you, Ishtar. I really want to introduce you as a constituent advocate, as an attorney to our community, to the Assyrian American community, of the importance of your position here working for a representative in Congress. Tell us how you came to be involved and a little bit about the importance of your educational background as an attorney and what that means as a constituent advocate.
The way I came to this job is one of those things where it makes you believe in fate. And it was wonderful the way everything kind of fell into place. I was coming back, I got trained as an attorney in San Francisco, and I loved every single aspect of it, but my heart is always with my community. Whether it's my community, the Assyrian community, or my community as a whole, District 10, Turlock, I really wanted to come back to implement the things that I had learned in San Francisco, working for the San Francisco Human Rights Commission and seeing the things that we could fix here locally. So when I came back, I was working and doing housing law and things like that. And it was right around the time of the election, the midterms. And I saw that, Congressman Harder is hiring staff. I was like, all right, I'll take a shot. Why not? It's never going to happen. But like I said, everything just sort of fell into place. And, my background as an attorney really helps me be an advocate here because I'm familiar with the ins and outs of government agencies, and especially with immigration, because that's where I learned a lot of things. Things like housing I have experience with. So being in this position, it's kind of like being an attorney, except you don't have to go file a lawsuit. You can just go directly to the source and advocate for your constituent without the legal aspect of it and drawing it out, and it just saves folks a lot of time and money and a lot of headaches to be able to have someone like me, someone like the congressman, go through the red tape. So.
Ishtar, we talked to the congressman about the importance of you not only providing the legal aspect of what you just mentioned, but also providing cultural competency and sensitivity. Our community being so unique, so complex. Yeah. And tell us about growing up in Turlock. And, Turlock is the epicenter, right, of all Assyrians living here. Not just in California, Central Valley, but I would say globally. Yeah. Everyone knows about Turlock. Yeah. Tell us about growing up in Turlock and, where you went to school. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Sure. So I was actually born in Iran, and we lived there until I was about 9. And then we came to the States. I came to the States as a refugee. And we came directly to Turlock because that's where our family was and where all of our resources were going to be. I'm the youngest of 3 sisters, and, I don't know how my parents did it. And I have great admiration and respect for them to be able to just pick up the family and be like, you deserve better lives than what's going on right now. We came to Turlock. I skipped 3rd grade and I went directly to 4th at Julian Elementary in Turlock, and then I went to Turlock Junior High, graduating class of Pittman 2008. Go Pride. And then I ended up going to MJC. I did my stint at MJC, and then I have my BA from my Bachelor's in Arts degree from Stanislaus. And then from there, I took a year off, kind of worked here and there. And then I went off to law school at Golden Gate University in San Francisco, where I have my degree is specialized. My Juris Doctor is specialized in public interest law and constitutional law. So I have all of that background, but it always comes back to growing up in Turlock in such a tight-knit community. Everybody kind of knows each other. It's very comfortable for all of us. And even now, coming back from San Francisco, I'll be in the grocery store. I'm like, oh, hey, I went to high school with that guy. Like, hey, how's it going? I just love the environment. And the Assyrian community here especially, it's so, how do I say, it's compact and it's very much connected to each other. And it's such a wonderful, supportive, warm feeling. And it's basically the entire city of Turlock becomes your family. And I feel like it's such a wonderful feeling to have. And having, lived in bigger cities, you miss that. You miss the ability just to walk out. So,
Ishtar, you're absolutely right. From the time that you came here as a refugee, and look at the success story that you just shared with us. This is what resonates with non-Assyrians. When we talk about our stories, when we talk about what our parents did so we as their children could have a better life.
Yeah.
And so there is an obligation to help others that are in need. So what a beautiful combination to have you now with your education and with your advocacy that you do to help others, including Assyrians. So this is very important for those watching this program and our conversation, Ishtar, to know that they can contact you. And you speak the language. And in a few minutes, we will have our conversations in Assyrian.
Great.
But it's important for everyone to know that your role in this office is significant. For a congressman, for a member of the House of Representatives, particularly in this district with a very growing, thriving, and dynamic Assyrian community. To have someone like you in this office is extremely important, and I want to make sure I reiterate the importance of it, simply because there are members of our community watching, and there's 2 points that I want to make here. Is there are those who will need to contact you, and they can speak to you in Assyrian, and how to give them guidance and to work their casework. The other one is the mentorship that you provide. For someone, male or female, watching in their young teens perhaps, not knowing what it is they want to do with their life, to watch Ishtar, to learn of your story, to look at the success story. You provide that mentorship, which is very important, Ishtar. And it's a role that we need more of in our community. So whether you like it or not, you are a role model.
I welcome it. If there is anyone out there that I can help, figure out what they want to do in the future. And one of the things that I've always noticed is because we're, first generation immigrants or refugees, sometimes the education system is so difficult to navigate, with things like student loans, the difference between UC and CSU, and should you go to a junior college first? There's all these questions, like what's the difference between an MCAT and an LSAT or even the SATs? There's a lot that I can help with now just because I've been there. I've done that. I love the t-shirt. So if I can help anyone out there, I'm not propping myself up like I'm so great because you do that enough for me. But there are a lot of things that we can definitely come together. Again, the Assyrian community is really good about finding a resource and really building it up and really being like, you have a question about this? Go here, or let's figure it out together. So if I can be that resource for anyone, then I'm truly grateful to do it.
That's beautiful. I love that humility, and I love the fact that you really live up to the term constituent advocate. Because advocacy is more than just a job. Advocacy is a mindset.
Yeah.
It is volunteering. It is giving back to a community, to this not just country, but a community that has embraced the Assyrians. You drive anywhere in Turlock, you will see the Assyrian flag.
Yeah.
At a business, at a restaurant, at a market, whether it's insurance or even automotive stores.
Yeah.
We have such pride in displaying who we are. And this pride in our identity also involves civic engagement, which is the premise of this program when we first started it. The importance of being informed, the importance of civic knowledge and competence, And one way is to pay attention and to do what it is that we talk about. So what are some of the recommendations, Ishtar, that you have for someone who is just beginning to be aware of their environment, let's say a political environment, or if they have an interest to serve on a board or a commission? How would you recommend that for someone to get their feet wet and start to get active?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And you know, locally here, especially with our community, I think civic engagement is such a huge responsibility that maybe we don't understand the gravity of. One of the things that I always talk about is how we as Middle Easterners have this sort of disjointed foreign thinking when it comes to government. Government is this foreign, unreachable thing. And one of the things that I really want our people to understand is that this government right now in the United States is very approachable. And I think one of the things that we can all do together is start just doing research. You know, when you hear someone is having a town hall, whether it's, you know, Congressman Harder is having a town hall, or, you know, a county supervisor, whoever is having it, showing up to those meetings, calling and asking questions, and really trying to do homework and understanding where certain things have their roots from, like immigration and Social Security and public benefits is such a huge part of our community. And I think it behooves us to be able to research and to understand where those funding is coming from, where those resources are at, and what we can do, and who we're electing, for what reason. I think that all comes in, and it's such a bipartisan issue, is just to be aware of who's in office, you know, who's controlling what benefits matter to you. And the first steps is just to become engaged. It's to call me up or email me and be like, hey, so if I need this information about so-and-so or about this thing that I heard about, where do I go? And it's just doing homework. And those are the baby steps. And then from there, you will find your passion. You will find, you know, why you need to go to Assemblyman Flora's office versus Congressman Harder's office, and who you can direct those questions to. So just becoming aware of those responsibilities, I think, is the first step. And voting, and of course, the census is a conversation that we always have, and the importance of, you know, getting counted, and being someone that is in the district, which affects everything from funding that's coming into the Central Valley. It goes to how many representatives we have in the House. It's a constitutional duty. There's so many things that we can do, but voting and census count, those are like the big easy ones that you can do.
Absolutely. You are preaching to the choir. I absolutely believe in everything that you said, and I'm hoping that those who are listening hear it from you, because those are a gateway, as we call it, into being more involved. But first you have to be informed.
Absolutely.
First you have to really engage and attend city council meetings, attend town hall meetings, and if you can't attend, you can watch them locally on your cable television as well, cable channels.
Facebook Live.
Absolutely, you can be streaming it and watching it. So we talked about the census, which is every 10 years, and the year ending with a 0. So it is so important because it doesn't happen every year. You can't say, well, I'm going to participate in the next one, right? It's every decade. Let's talk about the significance to the Assyrian community and the census. We've talked about the allocation of funds to our region, which is so important, because if we don't have an accurate count, the 70 approximately billion dollars gets allocated to states and counties. So if we are not writing up, for example, the age groups, our seniors won't get enough funding for senior centers or adult daycares or rehab centers that have Assyrian speaking nurses, for example. Same goes for teachers, same goes for education. And let's talk about the significance of the minority status for Assyrians.
I mean, what more can you say? You know, I think one of the huge things that happens when you do census counts is we do have groups of people that are like, okay, these groups exist here, and they're having these issues. You know, this one particular issue is affecting this community, and if we don't get counted, if we don't have that status, no one's going to know that we're here, and no one's going to know that we need help in such and such area. We're just going to disappear in you know, the amazing melting pot that is the United States. And I don't want us to disappear, because once we disappear, those funds disappear too, those resources disappear, and we won't be able to bring them back without the census count. So I think getting that minority status is, it's as important as it can get at this point. So,
And there is a connection between the census and that, because it will provide that accurate count. And as you know, I serve on the Stanislaus County Complete Count Committee, and the president of the Assyrian American Civic Club, Mr. Sam David, is a co-chair, and we have two other co-chairs from different major community leaders in the county. And with the media that we have access to, including this program, Ishtar, and the radio and social media, we find it so important to utilize every possible resource that we have to inform and educate members of our community. For example, the information that we provide on the census, it is confidential.
yes.
It is protected by law, by the Constitution. So we need to take that fear out and turn it into pride.
Sure.
Because as Assyrians living in diaspora, there are more Assyrians living in diaspora than in our ancestral homeland. So the census is about statistics. It becomes, it's all about numbers. And for 72 years, that information will not be made public.
Right.
So I won't care in 72 years if my name and address and information becomes public. But it's also important for how we contribute. Just a little tidbit for you. When I was researching, doing a report on Reverend Dr. Isaac Adams, I found out his census paperwork from 1940.
Oh, wow.
So they are online.
Right.
When I simply Googled him.
Yeah.
Well, his name, his family's name, his brother's name became. So that statistic is important to us. It is our existence.
Yeah, it's our history in the valley.
It's our history, and we need to know where Assyrians are living. And our conversation, of course, this is for the 10th district. It's a national conversation.
Yeah.
Someone in Arizona, in Illinois, in Chicago, they watch this. This is also one way to raise awareness.
Sure.
So we will be doing other programming on this. We've done a couple, but we're waiting to see how we can make PSIs, public service announcements, and PSAs, I should say, and to make sure that there's no fear. We have access to information. Those who are have a language barrier, we want to make sure that through the Assyrian American Civic Club, which is really a home, a community hub and center for everybody, we will open our doors to make sure that members of our community, whether they're seniors or children, or those that have questionable, perhaps, immigration status, lose that fear and they really participate, because that minority status will come from that. And one of the reasons that we are diligently working on this census is because of that. It's a multi-tiered kind of an effort.
Yeah.
So I hope we can continue our conversation on the census.
Absolutely.
Because April 1st, 2020 is Census Day.
Yep.
But there's work to be done before and after.
Absolutely. And you know, the census is such a integral part. Like I said, it's a constitutional thing that controls so many things, and it's a very bipartisan issue. I mean, it's not even an issue, it's just a fact. And I don't want to politicize it, and it shouldn't be politicized because it's not something to fear, like you were saying. It's something to celebrate. And I know we just kind of went down this census rabbit hole, but it's been such a huge conversation recently.
Yes.
Because it is a huge, huge issue that we should all be aware of, that our community has to be aware of and educated about and encouraged to participate, because it's their voice that's going to be heard.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ishtar. In conclusion, is there anything you would like to let our viewers know in English so we can switch and have a brief conversation in Assyrian?
No, I just want to say thank you. And, if you ever need me for anything from, doing mentorships to questions about anything to do with a government agency, feel free to call us. I'm always in the office or available by email. You can just Google our office number and give me a call.
Thank you so much, Ishtar. It's an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to working with you and referring other members of our community to this office.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
باسم ترابا بيقولتا إشتار سياري قشخان مغبة عادية همزمتم دوية بليشان آترايا من بيقولتا إشتار سياري قد إلى constituent advocate خا lawyer جو office Congressman Josh Harder خاگه خيتا بشنتي لك
خاگه خيتا أويا باسم
يقولتا إشتار خا إقارة رابا جورله قاتي و قكل ابن أمتن لخا بريشايد جدا قولونية ستانسلاس قد أخديخ ميقرتا بخا دل قرابة ألايا أخا attorney خا advocate خا هايران تد ابن أمتن إيفد لخا جدا office إن بس مالغ جانغ مديلة بليشان جانن أو داخي تيلخ قد أويد جدا office و خدش بجرابة باز جانغ و داخي جروستد جترلوك و خوبت إتلخ هايرت ابن أمتن
اوی ما قوین ما قد ادان سرتا مناشك بقريبا ادان باي قربس لخ مبتويات اتفالي خالو بد مامي قاتي كتاني ما خوار كوسد ايتها اختي لشاني يعني خايفة من سوريتي انها ما شكتين وقتي ناشب ايان هايرانا هل قربس لي هالخشلي يونيفرسيتي ادان تيلا نخلان امريكا جاشن نيبا شريدي كلاسد أربع جولين تورلوك خارتا تورلوك جونيور هاي خشتن خارتا بيتمن خارتا من تاما خشي MJC خارتا اتلي قرطاسة من CSU ستانسلاس كتاريخ history خارتا من تاما خارتا من تاما خشي law school سان فرانسيسكو فيدي وكل وهيك تخمنم بأدان بالخانة بجي سان فرانسيسكو كمادي كان بريشة بالخانة ما بغزايا ما قد متجر سان فرانسيسكو باشو لغا كوميونيتي بريشة سوري قمدي تهاي رخلة هاي قموخيك تخمنا اوكي قادران او بناءات تقاني قادران قا كوميونيتي تقاني قادران ترلوك اني من قان لبتين مبلخنا تاما وهم شك تخمنا من ناحش تقاني المجر كمسن هايران المجر كمسن اوين خقالة بنات سوري قدادية من إيران بتاينا ريفيجي دخل مجر كمسان خيوت الداني هستناي أوين ودنا خزيلي مثلا كتبت الداني مجر تشلشخ بابا ماما كما تشلشنا هل ممتينا قديل دادوكا ادان الدري بالخانم وأخا فكر خافس أخا و دان election إيوه دان برشيات و كشوقن و بايم خزم و ماكرم of course خارج تغذية خد جاش هاردر قمنا secretary دي ادانا تيلا مرة he's hiring طبوي لبرناشق office شانس دتلي انا خنا وراقي بشبرانا خزر مبتايا معي شولاند على ماجباننا لم بدا مجال مطيدي من تاما هاللخة انمتي تنلخة اتسلي خاشولا قد رابا بيايون يومتري سرسات تبخانة خنا لن أجوزة وقت بياين وين لخا وإتلي خا باس قد هما شماردي كيومد أتيا من إيدخ قناش هيرات هير كيومد إتن آفيس الديان خد شمد congressman أمسا ودخل قناش هيرخ let's do it هج لتتاني كلي or فالدامن ديگه شقيدة هير كمد بيتايدة هير بدون من ديانا را بغدي تقلخه ون و را بده بغداين قد باشورن وين خقالة قد سوراي اتقلوني الأسرة بزودن إيوه جترلاك إن اتلانجي مدستو جيو هيوسن جيو تريسي من منطقة دا بخشابن اتلان را بغداين قد باشورن وين خقالة سوراي كس Congressman Harder كس قيومة Harder باشورن دا وين خقالة با Congressman كيس ناشد كانن وخيابا إقارة جورة لغايتي خد باشون لخيات فنديو وهم زمن من أخوتيان كما شولي بيايون وكما بيايون قد نأمتن يدي إن اتخا problem إن اتخا بقارة خا كتارتا من ادي government agency موديد اويا social security رابا كبالخخ من immigration رابا دور كتر بايا الخخايا اخلان دخ وهماشا بايا خير رخ هماشا انا بايان خيران لشان سورة هذا كتان كما لشان كتان نسورة
می‌قولت اشتار کما مر اقبالی و اخنن بنومتن خیانه داقلونیه قد اغدیخ خنشه بخدرق الله وخا خوبت اطلق جلبخ بنومتخ ادمجد مر اقبالی و اخنن Congressman هارر مديلي قد وشولا تشمبوس باي فيديو لمديدان فيا الكونغرسمان إلى قد قديح إلى قد office so ادمجد برسوبي قد عادية بشماينا بغزايونا برسخزفة بشكلي لبة قد أمسي بليشان جاني قاريقة آفيسة كونغرسمان قد خاطوريتا بالخانة للخة وبدايلة بعض أخوالاتت قد آني إينا جابي وليلة لازم خا ترانسليتر عبيلون خا انتربريتر عبيلون أي خشولة رابا جورا أنا قايلة قديان ويد بسمت من عادية أنا منتن منخ سبب بداين قد كما رازي إينا منخ جدا أوفيس إينا متخري خا إقارة رابا جورا لقاتن وبطلابن من بنومتن البد بوج تلفون نمبرز و إيميل أخدم تخلى لخا قبر سوبت إتلون خاصني قويتا أغمرق سوشيال سيكوريتي إميغريشن وشولان خينا إتن قد شاتونيات إتن من federal government in Oya state government كم سيتون مغبريتون قا assemblyman فلورا تاما إتن برسوب خينا قد بايري جو ختامت همزمتن بيان متخرد شمت عواهخ شمت كلبتخ سبب جو امتديان رابا أنا قيتلا و مكيوب غريشة قد خعواهد شي بوقاته قد أغدية غبراته جور بالسنة بخا خوبت أمتا بخا خوبت يلبانا الله و إن بس ما لخجتاني لان باز بابا
بابي شماشا جمس من أرمي بن جنيزة مامي دا إلى سلة من قابيلا ومن أرمي تيخ ويتنج أرمي بابي جو راديو كبارخ وجو أرمي so اتلي خدت experience قدمي له رابك بيان أمين مو كم ستان بس بابي يم I think أنا جاني لخطفتن because بابي يمي لعبة تخمن الجانة لنا تخمن خيوت الجانة جو إيران شويقونا كل من دي شويقة قد أنا وخطواتي ما تغلخة وعابينا خير أمسخ قارخ أمسخ خيوت الجانة نابخلون عابيلا هل أدان سرتن سورة لتبرموية إن عادية قربستن عادية بالخانن من رفيجي خينا عادية بشمايان باسد خيوتك ما تشاتنا رفيجي لم بدار أسن موتين قبابيني ممطينا لخا ممطينا لخا
بس انت رابا ادمجد انا خبرانة معرض كل دوزينة قدنا برسوبة قد بالكدبينة السورة وينا قوشاتنو يتدليشان اليبتا إنا إذا ضايق الخجة شنة قد بوش برمويه قد عباهن ادمجد متشاتونيات قريشنا وعباه الداني وعباه الداني إقارة قد فاين لي قد عادي مدخورد ادمجد رابانا عائلة تشي بوقاتك قد عتخمنتك تشي بوقاتك عباه وادمجد عباه أطفرايه جانيك دوخيلة عيالي بيلي أي مدخلا ولا قد إن تخمنياتي قد نوم تديان رابا أنا قايمة عادية جو ختامت أهم زمتن إشتار دانان منتن مناق بداين رابا بلكتد جو ختامة بايد خامدي تانيت غيش قانان قد داخي كم سي قاري قاتق إن بايد تلفون وإيميل غيبت له
هم كم سيتون إيميل أوديتون قاتي هم دي كم سيتون تلفون أوديتون تلفون لخا إذا ترسي بارتجا 574 شمي إلى إشتار سيادي إيميلي إلى ishtar.sayady@mail.house.gov بخشان بشرحتين أمسيتن كتريتن له خجيار اختلا إن بيتن هيارتان نتلوخن بقارة كيومد بيدا كمسيتن زيجا مخيتون ضلبيتن قدي سباينا خاطر تلفونوخن بيدا وإن جاني لافيلي خاطر زيجا مخيم جابا بنوخن رابا بخديان
بسنت رابا إشتار أها إلى ختام همزمتن من قلت إشتار سيا